Hey there, welcome back guys. This video is going to be for those that want to see what it's like after you've accumulated X amount of hours in the liftoff simulator and are ready to go outside into the real world, because there's nothing like flying in the real world. It's kind of like having a stationary bicycle. Nothing beats the real road. Well, nothing's going to beat the friendly skies. But before I begin and get started, you want to make sure you have a lanyard just in case you have like an oh shit moment or you get nervous. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be nervous because it's my first time, even though I've been flying drones for over 15 years. It doesn't really matter because this is a new element of surprise, you know, and you just got to be ready for the unexpected. And then let's see how many hours I have. I have 16.7 hours in the simulator, which is pretty good. But you know, everyone progresses differently inside the simulator. But before I go out into the real world, I want to do a practice flight inside of the simulator just to make sure that, you know, I have what it takes. I'm confident. And, you know, I'd recommend doing a simulation flight because there are some days where I'm in the simulator and I'm just not feeling it. You know, like I can't fly today no matter what happens. And then you know, on that particular day, I just wouldn't click race. I just wouldn't recommend going out. But you want to make sure it's in an open field. But if you're, you know, if you're a good, confident pilot and comfortable in practicing, it also depends on where you've been flying. But look at the times. I've actually gotten the personal times down to 10 minutes. It went from 20 to 22, which is pretty good. So if I can get it down to 5 minutes, that would be great. But let's just get started, see where this takes us. And again, like I said, the first time you are outside, I would recommend making sure that it's an open field because it does accelerate really fast and you want that open space. But you also want to be able to control the drone. The key here is being able to control the drone. If you can control the drone in any scenario, then you're fine, you're golden, except for when you're doing the flips and tricks. But for me, my goal is I really want to capture that cinematic image where the drone is like flying that way. I'm not sure if I'll do that today. I'm not really into the flips and tricks, but I just want to, you ever see the videos when the drone is just flying along the water on the beach and on the rocks and in the mountains and just doing that particular angle. So that's my goal. Everyone has a different goal when it comes to the you know, just honing that skill, or whether it's scaling buildings like that. Yeah, that I don't think I'll ever be able to do. I might try it in a simulator because it is a cool feature. All right, so there'll be two portions of this video. One is for those who aren't comfortable starting in manual mode, because let's say you need a flat surface, and also when you start off in manual mode, things just happen really fast. But there's a way to start the drone in normal mode, which is great, and then flip it back into manual mode. So I'll leave a section of the video, and not maybe a different video for that, but this one's going to be a little bit different. Because in the beginning I'm like, wait, my drone's not taking off. What's happening? So you have to put it into normal mode and then launch old school way. Okay. So with this one, you have no choice but to like really launch in manual mode. So I'm not going to do the course, but as you can see, I'm in manual mode. But my goal here is to basically be able to fly, right, this course in the air, right? Just control the drone. So today's a really good day. I have control of the drone, but nothing's going to beat the real thing, because I'm going to go outside and I'm going to be nervous, you know, I tell you. And if you do get nervous, you know, that's okay. You can flip it back into normal mode, right? But you just got to have your finger on the trigger. And right now, I'm not holding the remote in my hands. It's actually laying on the table. So that's not going to be an option outside. Right, so but the good thing about this, I like the hay simulator because you can go to right about the tree line. And remember, when you're flying outside, trees aren't going to appear out of the middle of nowhere. That's, you know, look at that, the tree just appeared, and bushes. So that's not, you know, again, nothing beats the real thing. Michael, I would actually like to fly through the barn, but I haven't gotten that good yet. But as you can see, control the drone. If you can do this, then you're ready for outside. And of course, remember the height. Make sure there are no obstacles because this thing soars. And just try to get comfortable flying low, you know? And if you're not, that's okay. because as you know, this thing travels really fast. So once you can do this, I believe you're ready to go. And of course, once you're able to, so we might lose control of the drone, I'm going to put it into normal mode. As you can see, I had to do that by pressing the key on the keyboard, and we're probably going to lose the drone in a little bit unless I turn back. Or we'll let it turn back. So again, you're not going to be able to see, but just know that the fingers have to be right there so that you can go back into normal mode, right? And don't press that button because that'll disarm your propellers, and then the drone will simply fall out of the sky. And you could accidentally hit someone, or you can break the drone. They say the Avata is pretty resilient though. So you could launch in normal mode, right? And just fly around like that, but that's not how it's going to be. But I also want to see if in I see I have to do it like this. If in sport mode, right? See, if you're in sport mode in here, apparently you can do flips and twists, but you have a little more control of the drone. So I wonder if that will work outside too. So we're going to try that too. All right, so that's it. Wish me luck, and this could be the last video, or it could be a continuation of many videos with the Avata. But thankfully I have DJI Care Refresh, so if something does happen to the drone, I will probably have to return it. I'm not sure what the turnaround time is on that, but I think I saw on one of the forums, if you're not crashing, you're not learning. I'm not sure if I follow that motto. Do all the crashing in the simulator. All right, so let's go outside. Hey guys, welcome back. We're outside. We're gonna be doing a real flight instead of a simulated flight in the simulator. Hopefully this goes well. I have to admit I'm nervous because it feels like my first time flying a drone. I remember when the drones came out. I don't remember the name of them when it came out. I took off in the apartment and just went crazy. Basically, what happens the first time in a simulator where the drone just goes round and round and round, this basically happened inside the apartment like 10, 15 years ago. So that this is the memories I have because it's a new flying experience, right? So with the Avata, unfortunately, you need both hands. So I can't hand launch it. So that's why I need a landing pad here, or if you have a flat surface, anything flat, if you have grass, it's gonna, be bad on the drone. But coming back in won't be a problem because I'll be able to hopefully hover it to where it needs to be when I put it in normal mode, right? And then just flip it over. But the problem is that being able to take off, I need both fingers because I'm going to start it in normal mode by the way you would with your standard, let's say Mini 3 Pro, by holding both controllers inward, joysticks. So can't do that here. So what we'll do is we'll just get the drone off the ground in normal mode, and then once it's high enough, like above the tree line, we'll put it into manual mode and see what happens. All right, so let's get started. All right, so we got the drone ready to take off. We're gonna put everything into manual mode. Hopefully this works out. As you can see, I'm in normal mode. As I take off, because it's hard to take off with your hand, return home altitude is already set. As you can see, we're going up in N mode. There go the bumper guards, which are great to some extent. They sort of protrude a bit, but they will most likely save your drone. The only thing I don't have on the drone is the gimbal guard, which I would recommend if you're going to be flying this for the first time. So there we go. We're going to put the joysticks where we go, and you just have to match and line them up, exactly. So basically that green line on the left has to disappear. It's my first time doing this since I haven't really done it in the simulator too much. In the simulator, everything happens in real time. I think there are conditionals written in the code, so that it just happens no matter what. All right, M mode switch. So great. Look, I'm just in the air. I'm flying. Wow, look at that. So the simulator really does work. Now I guess something jerked because I didn't press anything. So now I'm in sport mode, which I'm not going to experiment with this time around. All right, so now let's do there we go. Switch to manual mode. All right, let's see. looking down, looking around, up, back into normal again. This is weird. This is a little bit of a glitch because I didn't press the button. Basically, something was happening with the drone, and now I'm descending. Now, as you descend, apparently, it's not as fluid as it is for the Mavic series drones. It's just kind of a little bit wobbly, and it comes down at like 2 miles an hour. Not very fast. You can fly, but it doesn't feel like you're flying compared to the simulator. And we're just going to descend a little bit. The good thing is that this field is closed. There's no one there apparently because of the air quality. But it looked great to me when it comes to the air quality. I'm just trying to get into a little bit of a position that'll just allow me to fly in M mode, because M mode flies really fast, right? And it's manual mode instead of M mode. M mode, when you're in manual mode, it just picks up the drone is on, and it's like on turbo boost. So that's a little bit tricky. So I want to give myself a little bit of distance. And what's great about this field, it kind of reminds me of the simulator. That space that you get. All right, I'm going to put it back into M mode, manual mode. Okay. All right. So there we go. Switched to manual mode. All right, let's try it again. So that was pretty interesting that we got a little bit of a glitch considering I wasn't pressing anything. I'm pretty sure if I tilted it all the way, it would flip, but I'm not ready to do flips right now. I just want to get a feel of the drone to try and just see how I can just fly around. That's really weird. How it just kicks out from M mode and then just goes back into N mode without pressing the buttons. My fingers are actually under the joystick, holding onto it tight like a white knuckle driver, because I'm just, I'm nervous. This is my first time flying in manual mode. All right, let's try it again. I'm just gonna switch the toggle through, put that there, and voila. Now we're in M mode, manual mode. All right, so let's see. I'm flying. This is great. I'm flying. Look at me. This is great. So the simulator does work. You just have to get used to flying. This is great. I'm just going to turn. So basically, if you've seen my previous video or in the beginning, this is basically how I fly in the simulator, which is great. So whatever you do in the simulator sort of mimics the real-time experience, from your technique to your flying ability and your skill set. The only downside to this is that basically mimicking the way that I flew in the simulator, which I kind of wish I spent 17 hours flying a little bit lower, because I'm afraid, a little bit lower, because I'm just more comfortable flying higher. And I can turn it around. This is great. So you will learn how to control the drone, and you will basically transpose everything. Will just be cloned from your moves, but the only downside is that I need to get a little bit more comfortable flying lower, and maybe I will spend the next 20 hours. I mean, over the course of time, it might take 2 to 3 months to fly in manual mode, just to get the gist of it. To be more comfortable. But as you can see, I'm comfortable, but I feel like the drone's going to hit the ground if I fly a little bit lower. So I'm just going to swing around a little bit. The colors are really nice, but I think the camera on the Osmo Action 3 is a little bit better. But in a way, I'm kind of glad that I didn't attach it to the drone, because I'm not ready for that yet. And I wouldn't recommend doing it until you actually can do what I'm doing now, lower on the ground, like just basically 2 to 3 feet off the ground, flying comfortably, and not 143 feet up, because the Avata is meant to be flown low on the ground. But hey, if you want to go this way, you can do this way. Whatever way works best for you. There's no formula set in stone, like, oh, you got to practice this way or that way. You move at your own steps and your own pace and your own comfort level. And then once you're flying like this in M mode, or as they say, manual mode, you're good to go. And then maybe just it'll take you longer, but you'll get there, as you can see. I'm a little bit nervous, as you can see. Whoa, I just nipped the ground right there, impact detected. And that's a similar move. That's why I'm a little bit afraid to fly lower to the ground. See, double impact. Boom. First crash. It happens. It's kind of interesting how when the drone's upside down, you lose satellite, I guess, which is probably normal. But luckily, hopefully you have your key set to turtle mode. Now, turtle mode doesn't work when you're in manual mode. You have to put the drone back into sport or normal mode. Although, because here I am pressing the buttons, trying to figure out what to do. I'm like, wait, it's not working. What's up? I'm trying to do turtle, Mr. Turtle. All right, so, but as you can see, it's just not working in M mode, and I have my keys already I have it programmed, right? The C1 key, but apparently not. It's starting, now I have just starting motors again, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna toggle in propellers in use, turtle mode, aircraft in flight, unable to enable ESC beeps, which is fine, Okay, so let's see what we got here. So I'm basically stuck. And what's messed up is that the park is closed, right? So I can't get in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down into settings, right? And see if turtle mode can be. I see you can't activate turtle mode when in manual mode. So that I didn't know. I'm panicking. I'm like, my drone. I felt like, no, what do I do? What do I do? The park's closed. Can't climb the fence because it's net. There's netting on the top. So it's not like you can climb right through. So now see, I'm in N mode. And, I flip the drone back over and it works well. And then I just basically lift it up, fly backwards. Satellites came back. I got 25 and 45% battery. It does eat the battery up. I've only been flying for about 7 minutes. And at 45%, I usually turn the drone around when I'm at 25%, just so I have enough juice to get back home. Because, with the Avata, it's just no telling how much battery life is going to be left if you're far away. So, it's always good to have 4 batteries. And we're just going to land the drone just to inspect it and see how it's doing. And, as you can see, the first crash, and thankfully it was in the field, right, on grass, and it hit the mesh of the fence, so which worked out well. But imagine if it was a building. So it happens, but thankfully it wasn't too bad of a crash. And there's your home point. There I am. I almost landed the drone in the grass. I actually had to spend like a good 30 minutes cleaning the Avata because it just was it kind of was like a weed whacker. If you've ever used a weed whacker, the grass that builds up and it just gets caked on to the whacker, and then there we are. See, there I am landing it. I'm like, and then this was my oh shit moment. I'm like, oh shit, this is why you need a lanyard, because I was about to run in and catch the drone, and I'm like, oh no, what do I do? So there you have it, folks. That's manual mode. It was great. A little nerve-wracking. I was nervous. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But like I said, as long as you're able to control the drone in the simulator, you can. And I panicked. I had like an oh shit moment. I'm like, oh no, what do I do? Because as I started to ascend, I was like, do I go straight? Should I turn? Should I not turn? So you really have to be fast and instinctual with your movements. If you're not, you see what happens, pilot error. So a lot of times, 95% of the crashes are pilot error, just miscalculations or not being impulsive, at the time. Like when you let go of the trigger on the motion controller, the drone stops at a dime. So your movements have to be similar to that of the motion controller. And it just takes practice and muscle memory. You just work at it. I think I'm going to spend another 20 hours practicing low to the ground because I'm really comfortable flying up there. It's just that when you're in a small perimeter that's closed off, especially a place with a gate, you don't have those angles like you do in a simulator to go a little bit up and over. So if you're going to fly low, you really have to be able to turn on the dime. But don't be discouraged. Just keep pushing forward. And maybe manual mode is not for you. You know, maybe it's not for me, but I will enjoy flying with the motion controller no matter what. I love it. My kids love it. But I still wanted to get those cinematic moves that just when you just can fly across the water like that. You know, and I had to spend about 30 minutes cleaning off the drone. There was a lot of stuff caked on there. But thankfully I spent time cleaning it and not putting in a repair ticket for the DJI Care Refresh. But anyway, I hope this video helped you. I was going to say something. If you in the beginning, it feels like if you've ever seen that TV show, Greatest American Hero, that's how it feels like you're flying. Like, you know, you can fly, but can't really fly because you're out of control, but in control, but, you know, you're just flying like that. Anyway, I hope this video helped you and you're better able to get something from here and that you can use in the simulator and transfer over into the real world experience when you're flying the DJI Avata. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, or ideas for other videos. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.